America is at the precipice of an evolution. And I don't mean just any evolution, a major evolution that is on a huge political scale. The thing is, a lot of us feel it, but we don't know where this thing is going. And that should bother every one of you. Now, I have to say this. America as we know it has not always been this way. You know it, I know it. For those of us who are 50 or over, I mean, we've seen better days. But that doesn't mean that the America that we know is not worth saving. And far from me to be someone who's willing to go and run into politics, but I believe that America was really founded on ideas. Ideas that have made America what it is today, and for its greatness in the past and for any greatness that it will have in the future, we need ideas that are going to help mold the evolution that is coming. Now, I would love to discuss those ideas with you. Your ideas are just as valid as my ideas. The thing is, working together and collaborating, Americans do so much more than just a few of us can do. In fact, the corruption that has gone into the American dream is eating away at it and making it to where it's harder and harder for anybody to achieve. We can fix that. Working together, collaborating, we can fix that. So I would just like to start today with an interesting idea. An idea that is around our political parties. I will admit, I am a longtime Democrat. With that said, I have an independent streak. I have looked at things that Republicans value and said, that is a good idea. I could get behind that. I've also looked at things that Democrats value and said, that could be a good idea. I can get behind that too. So at my heart, as I look and really evaluate myself, I'm really an independent, somewhere in the middle. And there are more of us than I think people are willing to admit. Even some of the people who are staunch Republicans or staunch Democrats, they kind of waver in between that spectrum mentally. They may not feel like they can admit that, but that doesn't change how they feel. And the problem right now is that we've got only those two options politically. Now, I mean no disrespect to the libertarians or anybody else who's already tried to start a party, official political party. But this whole thing starts with ideas. And I would like to share these two ideas. The potential for two additional political parties. Hear me out. I'm not trying to make things more convoluted. And the reality is there's so many other countries that work with more than one and more than two political parties. But the first party that I think may be beneficial, let's talk about it if you don't agree, is an impeachment party. Why an impeachment party? Because if you look at how politics has been for the past number of years, Democrat against Republican, Republican against Democrat, there's really no party for if you don't like either one. And you don't like those who are in power, you think that they're taking us down the wrong path, and you want to show for real that they are going down the wrong path and you want them out. Most people who run into that type of thinking end up having to kind of make a choice between the lesser of two evils. They don't really like the Democratic Party, they don't really like the Republican Party, so what do? Well, you choose the one that you like the most, or really the one that you dislike the least, right? If we have an impeachment party, you can make it clear, and their party platform would have to be, we are going to impeach from the top down, president and vice president, so that whoever is the Speaker of the House can become the President of the United States at that time. The assumption here, of course, is that, hey, you really want change and cannot wait until that 4-year period that the current administration has. The way to change that within our power as people, vote the impeachment party. Their goal, their job, the entire time that they're in the Senate and the House, whether it's state level or federal level, is to impeach the party that is in power, that for whatever locality that is not enjoying it, right? And make it a different scenario for them. The second idea, second party in fact, is the Jobs and Freedom Party. I am hearkening back to a time of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, although he's most remembered for the peaceful resistance that he led and for everything that he did for African Americans in the United States, he was really about giving dignity and respect to those who were marginalized. It was not just about the color of your skin. It was about being able to have a job, support your family, and have the freedom to do things that, if you're a man, make you feel like you're a man contributing to this society. If you're a woman, make you feel like you are actually able to be free and flexible. It's not about pulling down anybody else within your society or within your culture. It's about lifting up and allowing more people to be able to enjoy the American dream. And I think that's what we should all be doing. But if we don't have a single party that is for jobs and freedom, that makes things a lot more difficult. Think about the fact that both Democrats and Republicans, they will typically kind of take turns being the better one for the economy, etc. But all this cultural stuff that goes along with both parties tends to distract from the main goal that should be something that everyone shares in terms of getting everyone some piece of the American dream, the piece of the American vision, the pie. The vision for America is the thing that the French were so attracted to when they gifted us the Statue of Liberty, right? All the immigrants that would come to our shores that we'd be able to help, that all plays into the vision and dream of America. And I don't care what you say about the immigrants that are being dealt with today, the reality is America would not be where it is today in terms of strength, financially, militarily, or any other way without the coming together of all these multitudes of people into one. From many, one. That is such a profound thing. And it had not been on this earth until the United States of America. Truly. So, the Jobs and Freedom Party. The goal of that party would be to maintain both jobs and freedom, things that we can all seem to get behind, regardless of the cultural stuff, regardless of whatever your mom, grandmom thought about what the Democratic Party would do or what the Republican Party would do. Jobs and freedom, I can get behind that. Because right now, we don't have enough jobs. And so many of us feel like our freedoms are being abridged. It's not fair. You can do something about that. You can be a part of the evolution of the American vision. It does not have to be a zero-sum game where I win and you have to lose. We collaborate together and more of us can win. I'm going to say it again. We collaborate together and more of us can win. I challenge anyone watching this video, if you'd like to talk about it, this whole thing begins with ideas. I'm just putting one out there, I guess a couple. And discussion, debate, it makes those ideas better and spreads. If the idea spreads, it means something to you. You may be able to get behind it, get more people into it, and together we can fix this thing that we call politics in the United States. It does not have to result in death. We can talk it through. We can collaborate together and redefine, rediscover what it means to be an American. At its most basic level, the financial strength that America has comes from the fact that we are essentially the world's marketplace. Now that doesn't mean that the rest of the world cannot have their own marketplaces too, but we have done some impressive things not just through Americans, but also the immigrants that have come through America, to enhance what a marketplace can and should be. We need to keep doing that, but we can't do that if we are attacking each other. We can't do that if we are attacking the immigrants and the very people that can become customers of America, investors in America, or any other type of partner in America. The vision that is America. Anything and anyone that tries to separate out the immigrant aspect of America from the actual citizen aspect of America, I have to say, doesn't truly understand what the American vision was from the very beginning in the first place. Even down to freedom of religion. It wasn't meant to be one religion within America. It was meant to be tolerant of multiple religions within America, so you can be safe practicing your religion in America. There's value in that. Again, it starts with an idea.